All right, what's going on, family? Hold on a second. I'm watching John Wick right now. They getting ready to say the favorite line. Oh, wait, let me mute it right quick. What's going on, everybody? We will not be long tonight. This will be a very short episode. Let me get some people in the room. Hold on a second. Let me just share. Let's see. Share. Okay. We're going live. Just give me a matter of minutes. Hold on a second, guys. Give me. Trying to add some more people. All right. Hold on, hold on. All right. I'm just okay. Good evening, guys. I'm just chilling in bed right now. I'm actually got to get up early in the morning, so this is not going to be a long program. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm trying to see if we can get some more people in. I know it's a little bit late, but we are live just to talk about it. I didn't watch all of the Grammys. I've heard once I heard Jennifer Lopez was going to be doing a Motown tribute. I wasn't really interested. Uh, I did see bits and pieces of it. I saw it come out with Michelle Obama and Jada Pinkett Smith and Lady Gaga with Alicia Keys hosting. And let's just say Alicia Keys is, I guess she's still doing the no makeup challenge because, man, she came, she came there like she got up from bed ready to cook breakfast in that opening. In that opening segment. Man, oh god, and a lot of people saying she was bland. My dad even was looking at it and couldn't watch it. I stopped. I really wasn't watching it. Honestly, I've lost interest in award shows, and I've talked about this before. Most award shows now are so watered down. It's like the artists that they pick to win best albums, best record of the year are the ones that most people don't even know about. You'll hear people who you never heard of win a Grammy. Uh, you know, it's not to say that those people aren't great and don't work, but it's basically like a popularity contest or who knows who. So it's like what Shaka Khan said on Steve Harvey's show. What's missing today from music was talent. She talked about that. Uh, the other thing too is Jennifer Lopez gave the Motown tribute. I actually watched it on YouTube just a little while ago, and I don't know why people were praising it. I wasn't impressed. They brought Smokey Robinson out there to sing one song. Uh, they had Jennifer Lopez was doing the salsa with Alicia Keys during Papa was the Rolling Stone. you know, uh, th- they had Neo do Stevie Wonder's song from Songs in the Key of Life. Can't think of the title. La 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 la. La. I would know it too if I heard it. I could look it up on iTunes, but I can't check it right now. But it's our own fault though that we don't have our own award shows where we can give tributes to Motown like this. Motown is Jennifer Lopez is a great, uh, I guess, artist. I've not really been impressed with her as a singer, but she's a great entertainer. Uh, you know, I've followed her career since she was on In Living Color. When she was known as the Ass. 'Cause, oh God, she was a fine woman back then, and even now she's even gotten better with age. But I never was impressed with her as a singer. So when we heard about it, a lot of people were not feeling it, and understandably so. Motown is a black record company, and being that it is Black History Month, it is a soul. Uh, it's part of the R&B soul genre. You would think that there would be black Americans that would be given the tribute. And the Grammys have been real slick about these things too. I go back even a couple years ago. This is one reason why I don't watch the Grammys. They gave a tribute for a whole week to David Bowie after he died. Lady Gaga gave a 10-minute tribute to him where they were just performing all of his songs. Well, Maurice White, founder of Earth, Wind and Fire, arguably the greatest R&B band, and I don't think that can even be debated. Uh, in music history, I would put them number one. Then obviously Frankie Beverly and Maze would be second, and the third would probably be the Gap Band. But but nevertheless, Maurice White died, and the Grammys did not even do but a tribute to him. Stevie Wonder and Pentatonic came out when they were presenting an award, and they just did a brief song in memory of Maurice. But in all honesty, Maurice White should have been honored far more greater than that because he virtually influenced not only the R&B genre, but also the Motown, but also excuse me, not Motown, the rap music. Outkast, I Like the Way You Move. That's an Earth, Wind, and Fire song. They got that from listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. We could go on. The cookouts that we had when we played Frankie Beverly and Mays and the Gap Band and Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's all we heard. So I wasn't impressed with that. Even what they did with Natalie Cole when Natalie Cole died. Natalie Cole was one of the few artists that I think won more Grammys than any other person, any other artist. And when she died, she didn't even get a proper tribute. Her family even came out and lashed at the Grammys, rightfully so. They didn't honor her. So and there were some other artists I think that weren't mentioned in the Grammy memoriam that year. Now this year they did have Aretha Franklin, and they did the tribute Andra Day, Yolanda Adams, I believe, and Fantasia. They gave a great tribute to Sister Aretha. So shout out to them. But I don't really follow award shows like talking about it for those reasons. So, getting into it today, guys, since we're in the topic of music, this is something I wanted to talk about. The number one trending story this past Monday um, was a story about James Brown. Now, the godfather of soul, James Brown, has been dead for it's going on almost 15 years. A little bit shorter than that, 13 years, excuse me. He died December 25th, Christmas Day in 2006. I actually remember that. And long story short, the trending story is that 13 new people, including his own doctor, have disputed his actual death, the cause of death. They say it was a heart attack, or heart failure with fluid in his lungs. And his own physician has disputed that fact because he said he was the last person he would think would have coded, obviously because he's given James Brown a clean bill of health. Uh, James Brown wasn't feeling good, and he went to the hospital at Emory Hospital and got his lungs cleared. Well, what they found out now recently, and even his son Daryl, if you go on YouTube, he's given interviews talking about it before this story even broke, but CNN has covered it. But they're saying that James Brown was possibly murdered. Uh, you know, the stories of his personal manager, Charles Bobbitt, who was there, didn't make any sense. One, for instance, he said that James Brown, when he went down when he was with James Brown to the pharmacy to go get some Ensure. Now the problem with that was at the time he said all of this, the pharmacy was closed, and he didn't have to go to the pharmacy to get Ensure. From what even his son Daryl, James Brown's son, said, that hospital you can get anything you want just by asking the nurses. He didn't have to go anywhere. So that was the first strike. The other thing too is that James Brown's own daughter, I don't want to get her name wrong. I don't know if it's Yaman. I might be mistaken, or Denise. I can't think of it right now. Well, she declined to have an autopsy on James Brown and never gave a reason, which is something that Daryl and other people, other family members and friends have disputed and questioned. Uh, the other thing too is that when they saw James Brown before he passed, James Brown's personal manager, his daughter, and his son-in-law, his name was Chip Newmar. They all saw him. He was fine. It was clear. He told everybody to go home. When the doctors came in a few minutes later, they noticed that James Brown was gray. And it was at that point he coded. And what a lot of people believe is that he was poisoned. This is what his son Daryl has explained. The other thing, too, something else, is that Chip Newmar, his son in law, actually went on a local television show and stated that James Brown was murdered. Well, Chip Newmar died shortly after giving that interview. So you have a sequence of unfortunate events that have corresponded with James Brown's death. All of the people that were around him now, or that were there, most of them are not talking, or they're deceased now. So it leads you to question what really happened to James Brown. And many people believe he probably was murdered to get a hold of his money. You know, to this day, we don't even know where a lot of people don't even know where James Brown is buried. They won't explain that. Uh, a lot of people, the family members, had been fighting for the last year since James Brown's death. And I remember this, over his finances, his wills, the estate, his property that he owned. Uh, you know, there's also a paternity issue over his fourth wife, who they say uh, may not even be James's wife, but they had a child together, supposedly. So James Brown wasn't even buried, and I remember this for a number of years. We've been talking about this on the Tom Jones Morning Show. This dispute that was going on was probably in 2010, 2011. James Brown died in 2006, so he hadn't even been buried then, guys. Just think about that. A dead body for 4 years. I'm sure it had to have been in a freezer or somewhere to keep it from decomposing. But think about that. James Brown, not even buried yet. But this is what happens in the music industry. When you have celebrities, when you're a black man and you can't protect yourself, you end up being a target, and they will kill you. I just saw a documentary on Netflix you should check out. It's about the Sam Cooke story. It's called The Two Killings of Sam Cooke. And at the end, they break, and in through the documentary, and in the end of the documentary, I don't want to give it away, but they break down how the possible motives of why Sam Cooke was killed. Because most of what has been said didn't even, his family members and friends don't even buy the official story. When Sam Cooke died, all the cops said was, "Oh, who is this nigga Sam Cooke?" Because they got all of these phone calls. Their phone lines were blowing up when they heard Sam Cooke got shot. Didn't know who he was. That he was one of the most popular entertainers in the world at that time, not just in America. And he owned his own publishing, his own company. He actually found out that his manager, Alan Klein, who was the manager of both the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, owned his company and was going to fire him. One guy, a black man, was trying to dispute, well, Alan Klein wasn't even popular then. He wasn't powerful. He ended up owning everything, man. Maybe he had help. Even he was responsible for the Beatles breaking up. Part of it. Now, do I know 100% sure? No, but I don't buy this bullshit story that he had to rape some woman. Prince. They coming after, Prince. Look at all these people. Prince, Sam Cooke, Michael Jackson, Tupac, Biggie, Eazy-E, they all died mysteriously. Tupac in particular, his own background dancer said he saw everything when Tupac got shot out in Vegas. And what happened to him? He was murdered. This is a crime that happened. These crimes happened over 20 years ago, and you haven't heard one arrest. Not one. Y'all better wake up. This shit is getting deep now. It's not even now. It's been deep. We just didn't even know it. Look what's happening to that lieutenant governor in Virginia. Here you had a racist ass governor, Northman, who's a Democrat, by the way. And this is why we need to start thinking twice about voting Democrat. I'm not saying that I support Republicans, but this motherfucker was wearing blackface and even a Klansman hoodie, like he thought it was a practical joke, which it wasn't. The narrative was about him resigning, and now the state legislature is trying to push the Lieutenant Governor Fairfax, the black Lieutenant Governor, who would be the second black governor of Virginia if this governor resigned. The first was Doug Wilder, and they're pushing for him to resign based on 2 accusations of sexual assault that have not even been proven. And Cory Booker, Kamala Harris are all saying he should resign. And you want us to vote for them, Roland Martin and Joy Reid and Angela Rye. Get the fuck out of here. They ain't getting shit from me. They can't even support their own. They don't even support the Constitution. What happened to due process? Innocent till proven guilty. This man hadn't even been convicted of any crime. There's only been accusations, and you already ruined his reputation and his life. I'm tired of this. Shit. No vote. No tangibles, no vote. You come with us when you got some money. And then this governor actually had the nerve to call 1619. He actually had the nerve to call slavery indentured servitude. And Gayle King, kudos to her, she checked him while she was doing the interview. Wasn't no fucking indentured servitude. It was slavery, bitch. You know what you were doing. But look how the narrative is shifted. He's not even stepping down. Now it's about the lieutenant governor. Forget the AG putting on blackface. Forget the governor putting on blackface and wearing a Klansman robe. Now it's flipped on the lieutenant governor. Right when he's about to take office, these 2 accusations come forward. There's no police report, no DNA kit, no rape kit. Accusations. That's what we live in today, guys. If you're a black man You better pray. And some of you sisters are co-signing this. You don't even realize you're co-signing your own destruction. They're going after your fathers, your brothers, your husbands, your sons when they do shit like this. And tying it into James Brown, even Otis with James Brown, I understood that he was actually trying to start a record company just like Sam Cooke and a production company with Otis Redding. They were going to own their own music. They were own their own publishing, packaging, everything. This is what Sam Cooke wanted. And before they could do anything, Otis Redding's plane crashes with the Bar-Kays, and only one Bar-Kay survived. Look what happened to Chris Brown. Just this couple of weeks ago, he gets hit with a phony rape charge after he gets his master's with RCA. Who is Sam Cooke's record company? RCA. Even I understand Sony and uh, I think Sony Record Company has some ties with RCA because many of these record companies, as of late, have. Thank you, Paul. Many of these record companies, if you guys do or don't know, they merge with these bigger record corporations or these big corporations. So, like Sony ATV, which was the company that Michael Jackson co-owned with Sony. He owned half. When he said he owned half of Sony, he wasn't lying. He bought what was called the ATV Music Publishing, and that included most of the Beatles music, Elvis's music. It included Sly the Family Stone, Little Richard, uh, a whole bunch of artists. So that was worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And then later on in the 90s, what he did was he merged it with Sony when he structured a new deal. So not only was he getting having the Beatles and Elvis's music and those original artists that I mentioned, he was also going to get Mariah Carey. He got Bruce Springsteen. He got Neo, I believe, Boys to Men, Babyface. He had Beyonce. I can go on. That's just the bees. He owned part of the Christmas song. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Michael owns part of that. That song. Y'all know how much Chestnuts is worth? You know how much money Mel Torme? Yeah, Eminem. That's true too. But the 50 Cent, I believe, as well. If I'm not, I could be mistaken. But y'all know how much Mel Torme made off of Chestnuts roasting on an open fire? How much money Nat King Cole bought for him? Christmas songs are extremely lucrative. So if you want to be a songwriter, write a Christmas song. Make sure it's a classic. You're gonna make some money. The biggest selling song in America or in the world is "White Christmas" by Irving Berlin. It's the truth. Bing Crosby's version has sold, I believe, over 50 or 100 million singles worldwide. White Christmas has sold 200 million total. So it's in the Guinness World Book of Records as the biggest selling single of all time. So that's just Bing Crosby's version. That's not counting the other versions that song were made, like the Supremes and the Temptations. The Johnny Mathis's. Uh, you know, Dinah Shore, Doris Day, Frank Sinatra, all of those cats. Michael even owned, I think, some of Ray Charles' music. Now, what Ray Charles owned, and this is where Ray was smart, was that he owned his masters, meaning his original recordings. Something that, yeah, something no other artists at that time ever did. Not even Frank Sinatra. And Frank Sinatra was the one who gave Ray Charles that nickname Genius. I'm just thinking about this. Who owns the Philadelphia Soul publishing, because I know Gamble and Huff, they wrote all of those songs like "If You Don't Know Me by Now" and "Cowboys to Girls." uh, "Close the Door." All of those songs you'll never find. All those songs that they wrote for Lou Rawls, Teddy Pendergrass. And I saw Teddy Pendergrass documentary on Showtime yesterday. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, that's a good question. I read that James Brown's music publishing was owned by Mick Jagger. Someone said that. I don't know how true it is. I think it's owned by the family attorney. Matter of fact, when Sam Cooke died, yeah, when Sam Cooke died, his wife immediately sold Sam's music to Alan Klein for like $50,000, according to the documentary. Those songs were worth millions. I've even heard Sam Cooke's wife, I think Conspiracy Guy, he does those documentaries on YouTube. You can find it. He did one on why they killed Sam Cooke. He mentioned his wife being involved in it. I don't know how true it is. I do know that she immediately married Bobby Womack after he died. Bobby Womack was even wearing some of Sam's jewelry, and Sam's brothers actually came up there and beat the crap out of him. I heard that Sam actually was about to divorce his wife over their son Vincent, who drowned in the pool, because I think he blamed her for it. I don't know all of the facts of that. I've heard that. Yeah, I heard that she was having an affair with Bobby Womack at the time the accident happened, and that's why Sam, was pissed with her. But Sam Cooke had children out of wedlock too. He had about 3 or 4 kids outside of marriage. And that whole fucking family is crazy because Bobby Womack married Sam's widow, and then I think Bobby Womack's brother married Sam's daughter or something like that. They're all, you know, almost borderline inbreeding. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, man. But they live in South Africa, I believe now. Sam's daughter. I think it's Bobby Womack's brother. I think that married the daughter. It's just weird. But yeah, man, y'all look into this James Brown thing. It was all on Google. It's uh, definitely interesting. And it makes you think about all of the deaths that you see in the music industry, whether it's Prince, whether it's Michael, uh, Easy E, Tupac, all of them. You know, there is a COINTELPRO. And even they talked about that in Sam Cooke's documentary. So that's just been my time, guys. I do got to get to bed so I can be in and out of Lafayette and St. Martin tomorrow. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes as well. Um, my birthday was okay. I wish I could have did a little bit more, but hey, I live. Sorry. Ooh, I'm starting to look like Cicely Tyson with these dry lips. Excuse me. Let me get some water. But I gotta get some. Yeah. Let me go, guys. Paul, thank you for staying up. But we're gonna talk more about this in a week, and pretty soon I'm gonna have Miss Kathleen Bliss come on a radio program. She's an attorney. She actually was a woman that represented one of the attorneys in Bill Cosby's last trial. I'm working on getting in touch with her to talk some more. So just stay tuned. But you guys take it easy. Have a good night and enjoy the rest of the day. Okay. Yeah, Paul, I have had this channel for a little while. I've started to build it up. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. All right. Say hi to your friends.